My husband is very religious and barely touches me. Our first kiss was on our wedding night, and that was it. He said he would sleep with me only to conceive kids. Sorry, English isn't my first language. I, 26F, have recently gotten married to my husband, Edward, 26M, 2 months ago. We both attended the same church ever since we were born, and I started to like him over the years. At 20, we started gradually talking to each other and got engaged at 24. My husband is very religious and never misses a service. I, too, am religious, but not as much as him. We both respect the other's choice, and it's not really an issue between us. However, when we were dating and engaged, he didn't come near me in any way. For example, we rarely held hands, and he never hugged nor kissed me on the cheeks, even though it's a form of greeting that's very used in our culture. It bothered me a bit, but I think that he was doing it out of respect. The roller coaster was our wedding night. During the ceremony, we danced for the first time, we held hands, and when we got to our hotel, we hugged, and he kissed me for the first time on my lips. It wasn't like making out or anything, just a peck. That's it. Nothing else. We didn't do anything more, not even cuddled. We just showered and went to sleep because we were extremely exhausted. Right when I was about to fall asleep when we were talking, he told me that he won't do anything unless it is to conceive kids. I wasn't sure of what to say, so I just remained silent and dozed off. This literally crushed my expectations. Oh, see, I understand that he doesn't want to do anything. But really? Not until we decide to have kids? Which is minimum 2 years away. I love my husband with all of my heart, and I would never leave him, as he is the best and most respectful human being I've ever met, and an amazing person overall. But I can't seem to accept this. Ever since I was a teen, I've been addicted to Wattpad and spicy stories. So of course, I have always dreamt of my wedding night. I didn't really want to keep my expectations really high because I knew that it will most likely not come to reality. But I never thought that this could happen. I was disappointed for the rest of our honeymoon, which lasted a week. I know it's my fault for not talking to him about it, but I was really afraid of doing so. You see, in our culture, it's not appropriate for a woman to talk about these things, nor initiate intimacy. Plus, Edward is religious, like I said, so I was afraid of him judging me if I did anything that he could consider unholy or whatever. I even tried to seduce him for the past couple of months, but he wouldn't look at me. Not in a mean way, but he would just laugh it off and give me a peck or something like that. It's really starting to bug me because I have a somewhat high drive and really want to do things with him. I can't help it. I don't really know what's the reason behind this, and I don't know how to address the subject with him. Once more, I will not even consider leaving him, so please, all advice will be appreciated. Update. So, after posting yesterday, I was literally bombarded by hundreds of comments suggesting that Edward might be a homosexual and using me to cover up his sexuality. I wasn't ready at all for such a possibility, and it had never crossed my mind, actually. Compared to other people from our community, we are one of the few who aren't homophobic. And we previously discussed our sexualities before. I don't want to really get into this topic, but Edward was really honest with me at that time that he is straight and that he can just picture himself being homosexual, religious or not. Besides, we both have online jobs, so we are together literally the whole time and have mutual friends. So I would quickly have noticed any suspicious behavior. Today I decided to confront him, like many of you suggested. I had been repeating continuously my script in my head and went for it. We were both chilling after having lunch, so I asked him if he wanted to talk about sex and intimacy. He said yes, and was curious about what was bothering me. I was direct, and simply asked him why he won't do anything with me unless it is for kids. Edward got genuinely surprised and confused by my question. At that moment, I just wanted to disappear from this universe and evaporate. Because of the embarrassment, I am not physically able to recall how the conversation went exactly, but it turned out that he thought it wasn't normal to feel aroused around me nor to have sex unless for procreation. I felt really bad for him. Apparently that's what he grew up thinking, and that's what his friends and environment he grew up in abused him into believing. I cannot imagine that they did this to him. I'm sure it was to make fun of him and mess around, which lead to completely messing up his view on sexual matters and desires. And there is no way that they also believe in this themselves. This conversation went on for a couple of hours. I realized that it must have been very hard on him to talk about this specific topic, so we had a rest from this subject and took a nap. After that nap, he apologized for not talking about this with me beforehand. We discussed many other things, and the fact that he never displayed any affection before our wedding was due to his beliefs. And don't worry, we also talked about our wedding night. But basically, he got aroused every time he came near me, so he felt extremely ashamed of showing it or acting on it, and thought I was just teasing him. He also didn't want to do something that could be considered bad according to what they fed his mind with. Not gonna lie, I expressed to him my resentment in the way he never asked for my opinion on this matter. He apologized again and said that he was afraid of what my reaction would be if he expressed himself. We tried to sort things out, and we promised to start working on physical touch. Edward said that he would never do anything that could make me feel down ever again, and that he will always be ready to answer all of my questions. This realization was really like a slap across the face for him, so I suggested going to therapy. He immediately agreed and started tomorrow, we will look for a therapist. Going on Reddit wasn't really the best idea, but it really gave me a push. Having this conversation was something we should have done sooner, way back when we were engaged. Also, to everyone telling me to leave, just because the problem was about intimacy doesn't mean I would leave him. Of course, if this took another turn and if I found out that he was cheating on me or lying, I would have immediately divorced him without looking back. I know that intimacy is very important to couples and healthy relationships, but if Edward is not comfortable and has issues with this matter, I have no choice but to understand him. He has always been there for me and always showed me his love and support, just not throughout physical ways, so the least I could do is understanding him and respecting his boundaries. Until we talk everything out, I will not pressure him into doing anything and would rather do it step by step. In the end, we cried together and laughed about ourselves. Then, he made us some snacks that we had while watching our favorite TV series. Now, Edward is sleeping right next to me, closer than usual. I feel happy about it even though it's not much, but definitely considered improvement. I also feel much more better than yesterday. There are still many things that we need to discuss and so many more steps to take. I think I might update our situation later on, but RN, I would like to thank all the kind comments and nice people who tried to reach out and cheer me up. So yeah, update 2. So, like I mentioned in my last update, we started looking for therapists and found some sort of center a couple of days later. Basically, they're like a group of therapists specialized in different types of issues. So once we explained to them our situation, they assigned us to a couples therapist. She was actually very understanding of our situation, and we have had a few sessions with her, which are very eye-opening. She navigated us throughout our emotions and basically was more like a consultant than a therapist. As for my husband, he was assigned to another therapist and has sessions with him twice a week. It's not just because of our issue, but they found out that my husband has some deep childhood traumas that he needs to work on. This journey will take him a couple of months apparently, and this is something that he definitely needs, so he's totally ready for it. As for our intimate life, our therapist advised us to show each other's more affection before taking things slowly and watching educational videos as references. So for a week, we tried showering each other's with random hugs, kisses, and cuddles, and this was really addicting. For Edward, it was really something new, but now he won't stop with the back hugs, and it's very comforting. Then, I started teasing him to take things to another level, like the therapist said, since Edward is still trying to build up the courage to do so. After a while, we made out for the first time. It felt super great, and from there we started getting touchy. We did this for like 2 weeks, and got freakier each day. The videos were really helpful. We also took our first shower together and played around. All these little achievements really made me so happy. And for the big thing, we finally made love 2 days ago. It was very great, and we took it slowly, but we both really enjoyed it. It felt like a different level of closeness, and I'm very proud of my husband for finally taking this step without feeling bad or guilty about it. Not only that, but we also went on some dates as a change of routine and tried new restaurants, which I really love. Edward surprised me with my dream restaurant, and we had a blast. Our communication is 10 times better than before, and it really feels like the wall that was standing between us is completely gone. There are still many things that we haven't tried, so we're really excited. I also told him about my smut obsession yesterday, and he asked me to give him a list of fanfics that I really like so that he could make them happen IRL. That was really awesome. I still can't get over this. And lastly, since our honeymoon wasn't really a honeymoon, we are thinking of going on one this Christmas. Maybe, so I can't wait. BTW to all the comments that suggested using toys. We talked about it, but the therapist said that this could be too early and that Edward might get addicted to it if we use them during our firsts. So I guess we will wait. Thank you everyone for all the kind messages I received. I don't think that there is anything else left to update, so thanks for sticking with me. Now go on the next story, story 2. My friend asked me to be her bridesmaid and I was happy to be one, but later she said I can be her bridesmaid only if I remove a mole from my face. Hi everyone. I'm writing to you because I've been going back and forth on this issue and I feel conflicted. My 24F friend Zoe, 25F, is getting married and I'm set to be a bridesmaid in her wedding, which is early next year. I'm excited for the wedding and am doing everything I can to help her out with planning and setting up. Recently, Zoe asked me out for coffee, away from the other bridesmaids, as she said that she wanted to talk to me about something privately. I agreed and asked her if something was wrong. She said it was nothing huge and she just wanted to talk to me. I met up with Zoe the other day, like she asked. It was there that she told me that she wanted me to get the mole on my face removed before the wedding. I have a mole on my right cheek, kind of near my nose. It's not huge, but it's definitely noticeable. Zoe explained that she wanted everyone to look good in the wedding photos as well as on the wedding day, understandable, and that the mole on my face would be a distraction and that I wouldn't look good in the photos. She said that she would pay for the surgery out of pocket, as she could afford it, and all I would have to do is go in and get it removed. I told her that I needed time to think about it. She said she understood, but let me know that it would be mandatory for me to have the procedure in order to be a bridesmaid. I said that I would get back to her. I'm really conflicted on this because I have had times where I've been insecure about my mole, and Zoe wasn't lying when she said that it distracts from my face. So if she was asking me to remove it, it may be better in the long run and she's paying for it. However, I don't really know if I want such a procedure done to my face, which is why I'm thinking about not going through with it. But Zoe is my friend, and more importantly, she's the bride, and I want her to have the best day, which is why I think I may be the asshole if I didn't go through with it. Would I be wrong if I didn't get the mole on my face removed? Edit, I just want to clear up a few things. Firstly, I'm not completely insecure about my mole, at least not so much anymore. I used to cover it up with foundation and heavy concealer and all that. Now I feel more comfortable wearing less makeup and not covering it. Doesn't mean that I 100% love it, but I'm slowly starting to embrace it. I haven't really mentioned about my insecurity to Zoe, except maybe once or twice. What this comes down to is I don't know if I would actually want a procedure like that done, but I was conflicted, because maybe going through with it would make me look better in a way. And to everyone commenting about Photoshop, it's not just about the pictures. Zoe said that she wanted me to get it removed for the ceremony as well because she doesn't want me to look bad to the guests. For reference, the mole is brown and maybe about 1 to a penny in size diameter. Update. Hi again, everybody. I'm just going to post a quick update because I have to leave for work soon. Firstly, I have made the decision not to remove my mole. I realized that it was way too big of an ask even for a bride, and it didn't seem like she had good intentions behind asking me. Many of the comments were to go through with the procedure and then drop out of the wedding. And I just don't feel right doing that, especially since I didn't even know if I wanted it removed in the first place. I haven't told Zoe about my decision yet, so I don't know how she's going to react. I haven't told the other bridesmaids about what Zoe asked me to do, or if they were asked to do something similar, as some comments were suggesting. I think I'm going to reach out to them and ask. I will keep everyone posted.